Now we have a series of exit interviews with key players in the Obama administration, beginning with Secretary of State John Kerry. He will likely be replaced as the top U.S. diplomat by former ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson. So far, the passing of the torch between Kerry and Tillerson has consisted of a 5-minute phone call. Here's Margaret Brennan.
As he prepares to leave office, Secretary Kerry is clearly worried that President-elect Trump might undo some of his hard-won achievements, namely the historic deal to freeze Iran's nuclear program. Mr. Trump has pledged to rip it up.
Now, if all of a sudden you pull out of that, all of our allies who joined us in the effort will have extraordinary questions about America's leadership and American judgment.
Kerry is also concerned about the Middle East, where he spent 9 months trying to secure peace between the Israelis and Palestinians. He said the president-elect's campaign pledge to move the U.S. embassy to the disputed city of Jerusalem would inflame the Arab world.
You'd have an explosion, an absolute explosion in the region.
Neighboring Syria has already exploded, killing thousands of civilians and leaving millions displaced. Dictator Bashar al-Assad, whom the administration argued must step down, has held on to power. Kerry advocated using military force but was overruled by President Obama, and his exhaustive diplomacy led to sharp criticism.
What's the alternative to that? Is the alternative that the Secretary of State of the United States, the President of the United States, are going to be in these important, powerful positions and do nothing about one of the greatest catastrophes, humanitarian catastrophes that's unfolding before our eyes? Of course not.
Kerry says his drive to become a peacemaker was forged while fighting in Vietnam, where he deployed in 1968. But he later became an anti-war advocate. Back in Vietnam nearly 5 decades later, Kerry says that experience changed him.
I feel that it chastened me, it cautioned me, it gave me a sense of understanding of how people in positions of responsibility can look at something and misunderstand it or make a decision that costs lives.
After he steps down, Kerry says he'll find another way to serve. But without that Air Force 757 that's ferried him over 1 million miles to 91 countries. These are your living quarters in here?
This is it. Home away from home.
He'll trade the cabin he's made home for 4 years for his real home in Boston, where he admits at 73 he's got some catching up to do.
I've got grandkids and, kids pay a little more attention, and my wife would love to see me.
So what are you going to do next?
Have some fun. I don't know.
Margaret Brennan, CBS News, Washington.